Joey Logano closing in off turn 2.
Turner Scott Motorsports entry of Kyle Larson makes his way back into 3 and 4, running the middle of the high groove. It's going to be Joey Logano ducking that truck down to the bottom yellow line as he tries to trim more of that advantage off.
5 seconds to go, or actually 5 laps to go. Let's check the stopwatch. It's 1.2 seconds. Does he have enough time? They're in 1.
He's been able to break away from third place running Johnny Sauter, who is all by himself. Top 3 each separated by about 15 truck lengths.
And a little bit of lap traffic may come into play possibly as Larson begins to make his way closer to the back end of the field. Jennifer Jo Cobb, Johnny Chapman, and again, Joey Logano still slicing into that lead.
Kyle Larson can hear the footsteps. Logano sideways off turn number 4, giving it everything he's got and a little bit more right now.
Moving around Jennifer Jo Cobb up the top side of the racetrack off of turn number 2 goes race leader Kyle Larson. Here comes Joey Logano closing in a couple of more truck lengths this time by.
As Logano continues to keep his sights set on Kyle Larson, and then one final spot again, Larson takes it up to the high side. This time Logano follows to the tire tracks off of 4.
Here they come now. It will be 4 laps to go. It is Kyle Larson, your leader. Joey Logano in second. 1 second separate each other in 1.
And it continues to close as Kyle Larson goes to the outside of the racetrack off of turn number 2. Joey Logano right on the bottom to the back straightaway.
And for the moment, clear track, and we have one truck. That's going to be Tyler Young. He is going to slam into the outside retaining wall, and there's another caution, a problem up and on the front stretch.
Ryan Sieg is in it. Timothy Peters is in it. Peters goes head on into the outside retaining wall, and we are under caution with 3 laps remaining here at Rockingham.
Well, that was
trouble also in turn number 3. Hornaday and Bubba Wallace get together. Wallace up into the outside retaining wall. Heavy damage done to the Bubba Wallace machine.
My goodness, what is going on? Caution flag is flying for 3 separate incidents under the same caution flag. Let's start with the Tyler Young problem in front of Buddy Long.
It happened just simultaneous as Dave was getting on the horn to talk about the front stretch incident. As we were watching, Tyler Young was one of the lap trucks that was about to be overtaken in a lap or so by Kyle Larson. He just got too high up into turn number 3 and 4 and took a good shot on the outside retaining wall and rode it very hard and eventually came off of it off of turn number 4.
Well, the second incident occurred here on the front straightaway. Timothy Peters got the worst of that with a head-on shot into the outside retaining wall. He's got heavy damage as he limps down pit road. And then Buddy Long, it looked like everybody was slowed down, back under control, and it busted out again.
This will be a question mark as to whether Hornaday and Wallace had some issues with each other under green flag conditions, because everybody was slowed down to a pretty good caution lap space. As they came into turn number 3, we could see the tire marks. Hornaday into the back of Bubba Wallace and just went straight, driving that Toyota up into the outside retaining wall with heavy front-end damage. Wallace's truck has come to a stop down on the apron of turn number 3 and 4. He has got the window net down. The safety crews are getting him out. Hornaday was able to continue on.
Timothy Peters is on pit road. A lot of damage to that truck. Let's check in.
And damage to the right front of the truck, all the way down the front side of the truck. As you guys talked about, he got pinched into the wall, so the heavy damage is on the right front of the truck. But looking across the front of this Toyota Tundra, he also has damage all the way across the front grille section. The hood is bowed up. It looks like Timothy Peters is crawling out of the truck, and looks like he's going to call it a day after a long day. See if we can get a comment here in just a second from Timothy Peters.
So that's the story there from the Timothy Peters pit stop. And we just had a chance to look at the replay of the Darrell Wallace Jr., Ron Hornaday Jr. incident on the backstretch.
We also
Ron's not happy.
No, he's not a happy camper, and I guarantee neither is Darrell Wallace. They came off turn number 2, and I think it may have been the previous lap that they came off turn 2. Wallace got to the inside of Hornaday. When they got to 3, shoved him way up the banking, all the way to the safer barrier. Next time around, Ron Hornaday expressed his unhappiness, just hooked Darrell Wallace Jr. and put him in the fence in turn 3.
The drama continues to unfold here at Rockingham. Meanwhile, we're going to overtime. We will end in a green-white checker finish. Let's go back downstairs to Winston Kelly.
Timothy Peters has gotten out of his truck. This has just not been one of your better days, Timothy. What happened there at the end?
We just never could get a handle on our Parts Plus Tundra all weekend, and I felt like 93 or whatever could have cut us a little slack, but nonetheless, it's just a bad weekend, so don't call it big-time auto racing for nothing. We'll swallow it and go to Kansas next week and try to rebound.
That's the thoughts of Timothy Peters. He's always able to keep a smile on his face, keep his cool, and be positive, even after one of his worst days in recent memory.